This is a how-to guide on drawing negative externalities in consumption, and the example we're going to use here is cigarettes. So the first thing we need to do is find the marginal private benefit of smoking and find the marginal private cost of smoking. That's the same, remember, as supply and demand. And because we're looking at consumption here, we're looking at consumers, we therefore don't look at producers, so the cost line, the marginal private cost, is the same as the marginal social cost line. Okay, so we know now then the free market point is where supply equals demand, private benefit equals private cost. So the free market price is here at PE, and the free market quantity of cigarettes consumed is QE. But we also know that cigarettes are bad for society because of spending on the NHS and people getting ill, etc, etc. So we know there should be less of a quantity consumed of cigarettes. So we need to then shift the private benefit line inwards, and we call that the social benefit line. Because if we understood the social effects of smoking, we would actually want to consume less. So we find the social cost line and the social benefit line, and that gives us the socially optimum point of consumption. So we have here, as you can see, less consumed if we understood the effects of cigarettes, and there'd be a cheaper price simply because producers would have to charge a cheaper price because there's less being consumed. So we found then the socially optimum point, call that the socially optimum point. That is the point at which we would consume a society if we understood the negative effects of cigarettes and didn't just think about our private benefits. So at this production and consumption levels, at the free market point, we have here some negative externalities. We go from the free market point down to the social line here, and this gives us the negative externalities of consumption. So that line is showing us the negative externalities of consumption. We could find the negative externalities on any point. If we consumed here, at this point it would be down here, and at this point it would be here if we consume this amount. But we're consuming at the free market point, so this arrow here is the negative externalities. So now we need to find the deadweight welfare loss of consuming too many cigarettes. Well, basically, if this is the socially optimum point and this is the free market point, there's negative externalities here. And if we moved our consumption inwards, there'd be a bit less negative externalities and a bit less as we move our consumption inwards until we hit our socially optimum point. Therefore, we shade in this whole triangle here from the consumption line which we're at in the free market all the way up to the socially optimum point there. And that triangle there is the deadweight welfare loss. Deadweight welfare loss here. Or the triangle deadweight welfare loss, whatever you want to call it, but that's good enough for your exams. Okay, so that's showing the negative externalities in consumption, the triangle, the negative externalities, and the socially optimum point all in one.